Good morning everybody, welcome to Stockradar Stocks on the Move for another week. Today's date is the 7th of September 2023. My name is Richard Lee and I manage the stockradar.com.au website for you. Well, not a lot has changed. We're doing really well at going up and down and going nowhere at the moment. It's very frustrating, I know, but these are the markets we have to sit through occasionally. So we've got a couple of new entries this week, no exits. Steady as she goes with our current group of stock picks. The usual suspects of builders, insurance, a few consumer discretionary stocks, some consumer commercial supply stocks, some diversified financial stocks, a smattering across those sections there. And if you look at here, I've got the top, this is actually the top 9 here. So this is a little excerpt from my Trading Centre page here, where you get the portfolio and all the stocks lined up so you can see exactly what their ratings are and where they are. This is the top part of that portfolio that you will see there. And in Stockradar, the Trading Centre, you get the code. There's a little chart there that you can click on, which will give you a chart if you're in Stockradar, and your trend intensity rating of 10. So this is how I set it all out partially in one of the few tables there. So this just gives you an idea of the strength here. And if I just go down to the next one, which is our normal window, these are the top 10 here with Mirvac at the end making up the top 10. So we've got Altium, Ozstock, Brickworks, Brambles, Car Sales, CSR doing a mighty job there. We had a reversal back late last year. It bumbled along, creating high highs and high lows still until it finally got off its legs, and with some real momentum push higher at the moment, pushing it into these highs, and it looks very interesting. So that's just one of a group of stocks of builders that are doing really well. There's the FANG there, which is doing nicely, making new highs, looking pretty good. Goodman Group's doing a great job. Magellan Global Fund is doing well, and Mirvac also doing well. So that's the top 10 trend intensity rankings at the moment, and a good group of stocks there for you. So have a look at those and check those out. In trading tactics, took a little bit of probabilities today. Always working the probabilities of, I've got 36 stocks picks out of 160 stocks. So how many stocks am I going to have in my portfolio? Of those stocks, which ones are performing at 20% or better? Of the 36 stock picks we have, we've probably got 7 or 8 performing in that group. So you will work those numbers back to see how many of those 20% stocks plus you would have in your portfolio, how many stock picks. It always works back on probabilities. So that's what I'm always trying to work at the moment. So I'll talk a little bit about that in trading tactics. Okay, but firstly, let's get to the markets now. The Dow, again, as we talk about marking time, here it is, marking time, sitting there, just going, well, it's actually going up at the moment. So we've been up since September. It's just had a little bit of a faltering here up around the highs, which we understand. So we've come back to support. The buyers are supporting it. So we're in a little battleground area where the buyers and sellers are battling it out. But in the end, the buyers are probably the strongest of the lot at the moment because they keep pushing prices higher. The S&P is not a lot different again. It's still got this chasm to cross before it gets to those new highs. It's not far away, and this performance is fine. There are plenty of green bars here, a bit of selling, it doesn't hurt. The trend is up, it's high highs, high lows, so it's all looking okay as far as I'm concerned for the S&P. And the same with the Nasdaq. It's doing its thing. It's going higher, up and down. It's come back, found some support, moving higher again. It's a way off there, but it did fall a long way. But it still all looks good. We've got some beautiful green bars through here. We've got a good challenge here, which we've had, which, as I said before, is a good thing for a market to have a good correction, a good bout of selling, just to make sure these buyers are still real about what they're doing, and they are at the moment, pushing it higher again. So that's a good sign there. On the commodity side, copper's doing nothing except going down. Not really exciting us there much at all. Gold is doing nothing but going sideways. Again, it's not exciting us either at the moment. The only thing good about the gold is the Australian dollar's fallen, so our gold price is a bit higher, but that's another story. Brent crude is the positive one. It is pushing through that little area there that we had at R1. It's starting to get through here. We've got a little bit of volume here, a bit of selling here, which didn't really push the price down. It's now back up again and pushing to new highs for the moment. So it looks like we're getting some sort of trend reversal occurring here. Nice bit of volume, and this is now starting to turn, well, it's neutral at the moment, but ready to go positive. So keep an eye on Brent crude and some of those stocks we saw this week, Woodside, Santos, and a few of those energy stocks are doing quite well. Okay, so the S&P ASX 200, it is looking gloriously sideways, unfortunately, but that's just the way it is. We're below these highs, above these lows, above this low. Again, it's so wishy-washy, this trading pattern. It's really hard to read anything out of this. So to try and do that is probably not a great exercise because the clarity is not there. So the biggest clarity there is a sideways trading range, which is holding the range, holding the price at the moment. Excuse me. And you can see going down here, the momentum index is flat. Okay, so that's the ASX 200. Now, if we go to the stock pick count, up 2 this week to 45, 36 stock picks, as I said before, of 161, 9 ETFs of 23. So still not great breadth in the market there. The portfolios, they're back to being full again. Fantastic. We've had some entries the last couple of weeks. A couple of big leaders have come in the last couple of weeks, which has been interesting because we haven't had much on that front, apart from Aristocrat, Brambles, and there was another one there I was looking at, I think, which is on the leader side of it. Probably GMG, but there's been a couple more added to that, which looks quite interesting. So we've now got a conservative portfolio, which I did talk about changing that in the newsletter. Now I've changed that the universe stays the same, 20, but the maximum holding is now 10. Just after we've done quite a lot of testing, we found that to be slightly better performance by because the portfolio can have quite a lot of cash in it a lot of times. It's been a better use of that. So we've now just changed that portfolio to a maximum holding of 10 out of the 20 stocks. So at the moment, at being at 5, it means we're half full, which is 50% equities, 50% cash. It's probably a move towards the Energizer type portfolio because that's how we work, and that's the basis of our stock picks. So that leverage is probably a natural thing to do. Not that it's real leverage, because the performance is still very predictable from the conservative portfolio and very reliable. This just leverages it up a touch. The other stock picks, 5 out of 5 for the Energizer, 7 out of 10 for the 10 stocks, so it's not full yet. The 2 other Energizers are also full, 5 out of 5, 5 out of 5. So they're all full there, so it's going to take a bit of time for that Energizer, that 10 stock to fill up. But they're all looking okay at the moment and doing okay, considering what the market's been delivering us for the moment. Okay, so now let's get to some stock picks. Okay, just go through some of the leaders there. We've got a couple of those usual suspects I mentioned before. Aristocrat, it's doing fine at the moment. Goodman Group, the other big leader, which is just seeing great support for this stock. It just keeps going higher and higher and higher, and great volume here. So it's doing really nicely, that one there, as one of the stocks there. Brambles is the other one. There's been a big surprise for a lot of us. It's gone bounded up and made new highs and a great result last week. And it's still going higher again. So it's of those leaders, they're the 3 main ones. As I said before, we do have a couple of new ones in there, which I'll talk about maybe over the next couple of weeks, but that's for the members at the moment. Okay, so just to go to trend reversals, again, there's not been a hell of a lot on that front there. We looked at ARB last week, and it was just trying to push its nose through that resistance up there. And we can see again, it's come back below it again. It didn't trigger an entry here. We still need a bit more trend intensity to trigger off an entry. So it has risen quite well. We've got the trend reversal pattern in place. We've got a bit of volume here, and the momentum's turning positive. So all the ingredients are right. We just need a bit of price performance to confirm the reversal, and it hasn't come as yet. So we'll be patient on that one for the moment. Okay. The other one I will look at is one that we have seen before, which is a great trend reversal, which has behaved really nicely, again, in that building section again. And James Hardie just trends so well, up and down and all around. It just goes when it goes. And we had a nice little trend reversal back here in May, and it's kicked high very nicely. And still there's great demand, even though this market's been flat for this stock. It's doing very well. Trend intensity rating is +9. That puts you right in the picture of a very strong looking picture by the average. Volume is okay. Again, we've had a little bout of selling here, which hasn't really dented the price, and back up it goes, and momentum is good. So it's James Hardie is doing really well there on the trend reversal front. And we've got lots of prospects in there, 5 or 6 good prospects ready to come along, of which ARB is one, and we've got plenty of current ones, RIA, 7 Group, which is doing well, Boral, BlueScope, and amongst a lot of others. So there's plenty of trend reversals out there, and this was a very good one. Now we're going to go to new highs here. We've got another new high by Brickworks again, in that building sector again, which is just, it's just been a performer. And look at this stock, it's just gone up and up and up. Its trend intensity rating is 10. It's making new highs. It's above the average. Volume is a really nice pattern of volume down here. We can squeeze it up a little bit and have a look at it, but it looks really good. And the momentum is positive. So it really is. It's a trend intensity rating of 10. So why wouldn't you? No reason, because that's what it is. When I make a decision to buy a stock, I use 4 things. I use price, moving average, volume and momentum. I don't use PEs. I don't use dividend yields. There's all sorts of things to think about. It's a matter of focusing on what you actually know will help you make the right decisions. And you can't use everything, but I use 4 simple things in my trade plan, and that tells me what to do. And they're all price based, and that's my thing. But really, even if you do fundamentals, whatever you do, you've got to make it fairly simple. Otherwise, it gets too complex and too unwieldy. Okay, so anyway, that's Brickworks, which has been a very simple new high there. Good volume, moving average, and all the things that I need to say yes is saying yes. Okay, so that's Brickworks. A couple of new ones for you this week. Paladin, a member rang me up, or a member emailed me this week, just wanted me to have a look at Paladin. He thought it was looking a bit interesting, and it is. It had a big trend up here a while ago, back in 2021, reached its peak, and since then, since November, so for the last 2 years, it's really been just edging its way down. It hasn't made any new lows since July. It's rallied and came back to there, which held there, which is a good sign. And now we're starting to see some good signs here. Firstly, we've seen this series of lower highs has been broken. We're now starting to move above the average, which is a good sign. We're getting a little bit of interest in volume down here, and momentum is turning positive. So where we really are at, everything looks pretty good, but we don't have the price confirmation as yet. And the price confirmation comes with a break above 103, 104. And that's really what I'm looking for. Again, putting my conservative hat on, when I watch this stuff, I can see all the things lining up, but for me to have confirmation, price is one of those 4 things that I need that helps me make the decision. So I will wait for that. But Paladin is certainly looking a lot better, and I know there's been an interest across that sector there, but Paladin is one of the ones that is doing better than some of them. Okay, so that's Paladin. Another one I want to look at, Sandfire, which, it's got to be on the radar, you would think, this one, after Oz Minerals just got done. And it's the only reason I say this is because we have got a big high up here around 740, 750 for Sandfire, and we're just hovering and lurking below it, trading down to 550. We're about 657 at the moment. And you never really know what's going to happen here, but we watch this. I certainly would watch the volume at the moment. I'm intrigued by this higher green bars. Nothing significant yet, but quite interesting. And so I'm keeping an eye on this. It's above the average. Momentum is okay, so it looks interesting. So this is a trend intensity rating of 0, so we're neutral, but it is something that's lurking in the back of your mind. It might be a takeover on the table for this one as well. So Sandfire is certainly worth watching, I think, just a back pocket one. Nothing really happening there at the moment, but it's lurking. Okay, the other one I want to look at, new highs, Insurance Australia. Again, it's performed very well. Since it cleared out of this big range here, it tried to clear out down here and failed, came back again, and this time we've got some really good momentum, we've got some great volume, it's above the average, all looks very good here. Again, we're having a normal correction at the moment, nothing to worry about, it all looks fine, it's come back a bit, there's been a bit of selling, but the buyers are holding it, all the other conditions are right, so why would you worry? And the most important thing is it's above my stop. So that's so Insurance Australia is a stock that's looking quite good at the moment. So this is most of the stocks I want to go through for you today. I hope there's something interesting there for you. There's a couple of little prospects in there you want to look at. Keep an eye on ArbCorp. There's a few other stocks, as I say, in there that we're looking at for. There's plenty of new highs coming up. Potentials, NXT, CSR will make one, Woodside, Medibank Private. There's quite a few of them in there that I'm keeping an eye on at the moment, so watch out for those. Just briefly, I wanted to just go through a couple of quick ones for you. BHP, Rio, Fortescue, what's going on there? Well, BHP, as you can see here, it's had this big push here, this big resistance level here that it's been pushing it hard at, and we haven't got down there, but it's looking interesting at the moment because it's not going down. It's holding some good support here at 43, I think it is, just above 43. And the trend intensity rating is -1. I mean, we need to see it above $50, but really it's looking very, very good, very, very interesting, and it's going sideways at the moment. Volume's not a great deal, you can't see much there, and momentum is pretty well flat, so we are saying flat, but just keep an eye on what's going on there because it is building into something, I think. And if we go and look at Rio, similar sort of thing, different situation, but we've got more of a sideways trading action here. Which has really defined Rio's trading range for a couple of years now. So we're really waiting for a breakout. We have that similar pattern happening here with these supporting lows here, like BHP, which is higher than this low here, which is a good sign. And these lower highs here are still pushing it down. So in the end, while we're in this range, it's a little bit iffy and butty. I really need to see a break out of that range. Now, just quickly go to Fortescue, which is possibly looking a little bit worse than the other ones. I know this trend intensity rating is 6, that should be in red. But it's came back a bit this week, but it hasn't been looking that good. It's certainly been struggling up here and looked like it was faltering quite badly at the end of last week, and some heavy volume hit it. So that trend intensity rating weakened quite a little bit. So again, as hopeful as we might be, we've really got to wait ultimately for this to be taken out for Fortescue for anything really to happen. So there's some interest in the BHP Rio section, maybe a bit Fortescue, but we've really got that big cap on it at the moment that's holding it back, and lovely to see for when it eventually gets through. So we'll probably have a great run. Okay, that's just those stocks I thought I'd quickly go through, and a couple of the small ones I've covered off in the YouTube video and the newsletter recently. MMS, we've seen this huge break here for MMS this last couple of weeks. All I really wanted to say was this has had a good break. It's come back. This is not an unusual thing. The sellers are having a go at it. So this is why we need stops. This is what we need to help make our decisions, because they won't work out and some will. So it'll be interesting to see how this one's developed. It's coming back and testing support at the moment and looks quite interesting there, Macmillan Shakespeare. The other one I've looked at for you before is Hello World. We've got a few stocks in there in the travel area that are doing okay. But Hello World has had this big trading range. We know it's broken the downtrend. The signs all started developing here. We went above the average. We broke this downtrend line. Then we were looking to get up around to this highs up around here. We're above the average. This is held support. It's come back, made a new higher low, and the switch is now being confirmed here, and we're just hovering here. We've got some good volume and good momentum, so the whole picture looks pretty good for Hello World, but you will find there will be ups and downs, so don't worry too much. Just know where your stop is and you'll be okay. Okay, so that's the stocks I want to go through for today. Hope you've had a good look at some of those for you. I hope they'll help you in what you're doing. Just going basically through my probabilities, the thing I was talking a bit about before. My aim is to target probabilities. I have my basic rules of what I do analysing price. So I'm trying to build the probabilities of a trend developing. Okay, that's what I'm doing. Not just probabilities, it's the probabilities of a trend developing. And I have some very compelling attributes that I look for that tell me a trend is going to occur. And what we do know is when a trend occurs, we can jump on it and follow it and run with it. Some don't go on long and we get out, some do and we ride them, and they're the ones we want to get. But we're looking at trading trend probabilities, so they're more likely than not. So we're just trying to move those probabilities into our favour all the time. And when probabilities reach a certain level, like you saw in some of those charts with moving averages, price, volume and MACD all in agreement, then you've got a very, very compelling argument and a very high probability case of something to happen. And with most stocks, the pendulum swings from buyer to seller all the time, from trend to downtrend to uptrend to downtrend. And you find here we're trying to get this uptrend moving. That's all we're trying to do during this swing. So when the probabilities reach a certain level that this is likely to happen, that's when we have our trade entry. We initiate a trade entry and hopefully we get in there and it's okay. Then what happens after that? The analysis is what we've already done. Now that we're in a position, we've got to manage this thing with money, okay? Because money management is how you manage your money. Analysing the market's not going to help you, okay? So this is where you really need to understand what your risk is, where your stops are, and when you're going to get out, all those sorts of things. Know why you buy, know why you sell. So you switch from analysis, gives you your trade entry, to money management once you're in the trade, okay? It's purely a function of money management then. So to trade price, we analyse price, okay? And that's fairly common sense. Or to make money, or we manage our money, or to look to manage our money, so that it's like budgets, incomes, profits and losses, income and expenses, all those sort of things we've got to work out, and that's just like a trading system as well. So this is the most likely way to achieve a consistent, common sense and rationally based result and an optimum monetary outcome. Okay, putting those odds in your favour, making the trade, managing it with money until you exit again, and then the cycle goes on, and that's really how it works. So I'm just trading on those probabilities. This more likely to happen than that. Okay, so you can turn your results around, but just by trying to work that out, I mean, the essential part is to really understand that the trading is about managing money, not picking stocks. And that's an important difference we need to understand if we're going to be successful. So anybody can pick a stock, but some people make money and some people won't. So that's the difference. Okay, so that is trading tactics for this week. Remember to be patient with this market. It's a very frustrating market at the moment. Analyse your targets, and when you strike, put your money hat on, manage your positions with extra vigilance, and keeping your losses small especially. Okay, that's a really important part of trading and being able to keep trading, is keeping your losses small. Okay, so a simple thing, but a very significant key to success. Okay, all right, that's all I've got for today. Stay safe, watch your trends, heed your stops, give me a call if you need a hand. Otherwise, I'll see you all next week for more insights from Stockradar. Thanks very much.